We've been doing a lot of work with fractions, and we've seen a lot of equivalencies, and we found those equivalencies using the insets. But today, I want to show you how we can do that just on paper. Let's take a look at a fraction equivalency. 1/4 equals 2/8, and we know that. But let me show you something. I left this space here on purpose because I want to take a look at what's going on here numerically. In order to get from 4/4 to 8 here, I had to multiply 4 by 2. And interestingly enough, here at the top, to get from my 1 piece to 2 pieces, I also multiplied by 2. So let's look more closely at this. This right here, that multiplication that we did, that 2/2, that equals 2/2 equals 1 whole, equals 1. So when we multiply by 1, do we change the value of a quantity? No, we don't. And so that's what we're doing here. We're multiplying by something that's equivalent to 1 in order to find that equivalent fraction that's going to help us with a lot of our fractions work. Let's try that with another one. Let's try 3/5, and we know that that equals 6/10. So what do we need to do to our fifths to get to 10? We need to multiply by 2, and in the same way, we're multiplying by 2 up here. So it's the same as multiplying by 1. That 3 times 2 gives us 6. That 5 times 2 gives us 10. So now we can find equivalent fractions that have more pieces. We can raise our fractions just doing the arithmetic on paper. Now, let's look at it another way. We know that 4/8 is equivalent to 1/2. So 4/8 equals 1/2. What do I have to do to this denominator, this 8, in order to make it a 2 as we're finding this equivalent fraction? I can divide by 4. And this relationship between the 4 pieces and the 1, also a division by 4. And let's just look at that. Look at that 4/4. That equals 1. And when we divide a number by 1, we don't change the value. And so in this case, we're not changing the value. We're simply changing the fraction, that equivalent fraction. So now we can reduce fractions, reduce them when we're trying to find an equivalent fraction with fewer pieces. We can reduce fractions just on paper as well. Let's use this knowledge to solve a problem. Let's do 1/2, and I'll leave some space there for us, plus 1/3. We need to find a common denominator between halves and thirds. Sixths. Sixth is a common denominator. So what do we need to do to our half to make it into 6? We need to multiply it by 3, and that means we need to multiply the numerator by 3. What about our third? What do we need to do to it to turn it into 6? We need to multiply by 2, which means we also need to multiply the numerator by 2. So that means we're going to have 3/6 plus 2/6, which gives us 5/6. I wonder if this works for doing subtraction as well. Let's try that.